Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News. Big topics of discussion today going into the new VCT season, especially with regard to the Sentinels situation and the roles they will be running going forwards. TenZ reckons that he's going to be a very versatile player in the new meta, and they've got everything figured out there once they finally start to get their practice underway. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's dive straight into things here. This is GenG just doing what he does best here on Paper X. I mean, look, these guys are going to be so fun to watch this season, there's no doubt about it, making crazy plays here with the Stinger. Also, last night's kind of a reveal from the VCT EMEA side that, of course, look, we knew it was going to be in Berlin, we knew that's where it was going to be based. I think it had already been announced, to be honest, more than likely, but nonetheless, cool announcement video here for all the teams that are going to be involved in the VCT next year in the European region, based in Berlin, of course, so pretty exciting stuff, obviously coming up very soon indeed. Well, March technically it begins, but there is the kickoff event in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, in mid-February, and then once they get back to their respective regions in March, then it's all kicking off, and there's all the online qualifiers that go on pretty much every single day. Farewell actually from Gen.G to intro one of the players that was on their team for quite some time, and let's talk about some roster drama in the North American side. This is rather spicy actually, so this is Steel and his team that he's having with ToZ Esports. Now, I don't know if ToZ are just, if disguised ToZ is just straight up throwing money down the drain here, but this is the team that he seems to be forming. So if you guys look closely on the right hand side, you can probably just about see some of the scrims that were happening. We can see Penny and Whippy. Of course, they're on that G2 team now, right? They're playing in a certain scrim set. They're up 9-7. Now, in the scrims, generally they will play, they don't play to 13, they just play all of the rounds. They just play to 24 rounds usually. Now, we can see here on the right hand side, Gangster XXIF. We've got, Xander, of course, from M80, Ocean, the coach seemingly of the ToZ Esports team, Nismo, Exalt, and Steel. So Exalt has been doing the rounds lately. We don't know where he's going to be. We thought he was going to be on Stewie2K's team. That seems to no longer be the case. But we can see M80 Xander, we can see M80 Nismo teaming together, and they are up 19-1 in this particular scrim set. And on the other side of the scrim is Gangster XXIF, Ocean, Steel, right, as well. So it does seem to me like that team that Steel is forming over there with ToZ Esports or whatever was practicing up against M80 last night and was getting absolutely bodied. So, this is kind of entertaining, to be honest. And I mean, look, to be getting beaten 19-1, okay, look, it's scrims. It doesn't all matter all that much. But if you're losing 19-1 in a map, like that's pretty tragic, to be honest. So, I mean, yeah, that's, I guess, what they're up to last night. But yeah, that does seem to be the team. Does this show that the M80 team is just absolutely unbelievably good? We saw the other day that many of the top kind of challenges, tier 2 players, and even the pros were saying that, like, yeah, that is the team that's going to win challenges. M80, they're unbelievable. They are the best team, at least in scrims so far in challenges. They're going to win Ascension. They're going to get up to tier 1. Certainly a scary sign, I think, so far that they're doing this well in practice compared to a G2 and some of these other teams down there in tier 2. Even FaZe, we don't fully know what their roster's going to be yet. I don't believe it's been fully confirmed. And, the Guard as well, we think Texas is going to be there. There's some good teams. But M80 apparently are the cream of the crop. Now, on the other side, you've got the ToZ Esports team that are losing 19-1. So, do you guys think there's any hope for this roster, right? The guy who posted this on Reddit actually discussed that he believes that, Ocean is the head coach, XXIF, Gangster Exalt, and then Clear apparently is going to round out the roster. And obviously it's early days for this team, but some have been suggesting that, is this actually a good expenditure of money for ToZ, right? And is this team actually going to achieve anything of success if these are their early online results? So, it's an interesting one. I know that ToZ talked a while ago, the fact that he was looking to build a team and he'd found some guys that he was talking to. They seem to have taken quite some time to build their team. They've only got a couple of weeks of practice really to get ready for the start of the season on January the 9th. I believe these guys will probably be playing in the online qualifiers. So, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't, but we'll see if that actually officially gets confirmed as the team going forward. Let's talk about some of the tier 1 organizations then. Firstly, here from NRG, Chet, confirming he's back in the US now. He was, in Korea for a few days, but now he's back and enjoying himself. But this also means that this team surely will be getting into practice. I think I saw FNS say on stream that he's kind of thinking that, give us a week compared to the opposition and NRG can get back to where they need to be, because it's always a difficult one to say. How far behind are NRG and how are Sentinels and other teams falling by not practicing right now? Cloud9 are practicing, 100 Thieves are practicing, I'm guessing Evil Geniuses are practicing, but for NRG, getting artists has been a bit of an issue for them out to the US. Also for Sentinels, getting the Sassy Pancada thing to work, that's been a bit of an issue as well. So how long is it going to take for them to catch up to where the other teams are going to be? FNS reckon it was about a week or so they were behind in terms of 1 week of practice gets them back to that level, which maybe is true, but I don't know, it feels like they're falling further behind than that to me, but maybe that's just me making things up, to be honest. Even this I thought was kind of funny from Zom's. Sentinels Academy Bootcamp has started. Here's Zom's, here's Asu, of course. So yeah, Zom's deciding to stay on Sentinels, and I mean, look, I really do wish, and I think that surely Riot at some point will decide to make an academy a thing, right? The teams, I think, should have an academy in the tier 2 ecosystem. Now, yes, it's a bit weird if you've got an academy, because if they win Ascension, they, you know, how can they come up to the main division? I don't know. But the fact that guys like Zoms or even guys like Sick can't actually play matches at all on the Sentinels bench just seems strange to me, right? Because how do they know that Sick is going to be match ready if he can't even play in any professional matches on the tier 2 level? Don't really understand why that's a thing, but you know, that apparently is the way they're doing it. Now, there has been some drama a little bit about the whole zyppan situation, just because last night he was playing a fair few tournaments with just some friends. Now, look, it's good practice, he's having a good time, but still, I don't believe Sentinels are really up and running yet with their scrims. I think they've said they're going to be for quite some time. I think Pancada even said on stream a couple of weeks ago that they're getting things sorted, but nonetheless, they probably won't really be practicing until the new year, Sentinels. Same more than likely with NRG, and therefore they're going to get maybe 6 weeks of practice in, which should be enough to get them to a good level before they go to Sao Paulo. Maybe 5 weeks of practice, maybe 4 weeks of practice, but you know, they've a lot to learn with the new meta, that's the thing. And I guess Zekken's getting the knowledge in here. Obviously, you know, Zekken joining in with this team, honestly, like culture-wise, he fits in so well, I think, with the roster. It's actually kind of funny, and even he says here, get me out, right? But he was playing a tournament last night, and we saw that tweet from Governor here, kind of giving him a little bit of flack, as he says, instead of 100 thieves, they're practicing hard. This is why Sentinels are doomed to fail, because Zekken's playing tier 56 tournaments with friends. This was one of the matches he played. He was playing on this team, Cry is Free, in the Nerd Street Valorant Lockdown Open 3, and yeah, here's Zekken playing with some friends. Governor actually is what was on this team, so that's why he's just, you know, joking around, obviously. But speaking of that Sentinels team, then here's TenZ and his thoughts on what the new meta is going to be going forwards, because with Chamber now gone, what replaces it? Like, what's actually going to happen again? TenZ talked about this a few days ago and said that Cypher is now more viable, Chamber's there instead, and look, TenZ as usually run the Jet. That's where he's been most proficient. That's where prime TenZ was at his best, right, when the Jet was at her absolute peak back in, you know, Masters 2 and all this type of stuff in 2021, and of course these were TenZ's thoughts at the time, but he gives his kind of opinions on what the Sentinels roles are going to be going forwards, what TenZ is going to be using, what the rest of the team's going to be using, and he says that his best role is going to be playing in that kind of second entry position right behind Zekken.
I think you'll definitely see me on whatever agents. I'm pretty sure that's, let's see, let me actually count in my head how many characters I could potentially play. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could potentially play 5 different characters on this team. And I'm basically moving back to my preferred role, because I don't know, I'm not actually like an entry player, and I've always been a second entry, because I'm really good at trading, and like my positioning just works better for it. I do Zach's gonna be like the main entry for the team, and I'm gonna be like closely followed up as like a second entry, which is what we did before. Or like when our team has success, we had Hunter on main entry, like playing Phoenix and stuff like that, and then I was actually second entry as a Jet. The whole entire like Chamber like it's over because we didn't like adapt in time, and then it was like me. It was like we're trying to switch to like a KO, but we're not doing like what we did before. It kind of like did like a role crisis on us before, but I think our team right now is really, it's set up well for our roles to be working together pretty well. I think everyone's going to be on their preferred role, and like...
So interesting thoughts really from TenZ there, discussing the fact that when he was at his best and when Sentinels were at their best, they had Hunter, that was sick, right, who's still on their bench as it stands, running their kind of primary entry role on the Phoenix, right, or whatever agents were viable there at the time, and he would kind of be second in, which I think is fair enough, because if you are playing the Jet, which more than likely, you know, Jet does seem to be once again one of the more, you know, dominant agents we have seen in the recent patch updates since Chamber is gone, but, you know, wow, what was that from Sir Rose? Actually ridiculous. But yeah, get this guy back in the Pro League, baby. But yeah, maybe if TenZ is on the Jet kind of full time. Now he says there's many different agents he can run and be effective with, which I'd certainly think is true. But if he is predominantly on the Jet, then you can entry with Jet, of course, and that can work quite well. But also Jet's such a powerful agent at times, especially with the operator, that if you're entering with her, you can't, throw away that very powerful agent quite early on in the rounds. So maybe it is better to have another player like zyppan do the primary entrying, then TenZ is second in, and that's probably where he's most effective. So he believes that whatever's going to happen next season, they are going to be in prime position to capitalize. But very much interested your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.